I am very excited to have my next guest join us, dear friend of the program who just dropped her debut album with a lightning strike. The beautiful and talented Genevieve Stokes.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. Happy to be back.
Happy to see you again.
Yeah.
You look amazing.
Thank you.
Very goth.
Yes.
Very apropos for the fall season.
Thank you. Yeah, that was kind of everything I've worn has been black, white, or red. I just
Really?
found it easier to find things that way, and I like those.
We're basically describing your entire closet,
Yes.
is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's true.
There's a lot going on with you.
Yes.
I mean, we're catching you at tour right now, but you just dropped your debut album, like I said.
I'm so
It's so
excited.
exciting.
It's crazy. I dropped the album and then we immediately went on tour, and so I haven't even had time to really think about the album being out. But I'm so proud of it, and I actually made it with the two musicians I'm on tour with right now. So they're playing the parts that they came up with for my songs, so it's cool. Yeah.
It's been a long time coming, I feel.
Yeah.
Like we spoke, in 2021 when things were happening.
right, and then-
swimming lessons and
2022?
that
or
last
23?
year, I think, maybe?
Right, okay,
Right?
yes. That
Things
was
went
last
crazy
year.
on TikTok, right? I mean,
Right.
what is time?
Yeah, exactly.
And here you are, 4 years later after getting signed with your debut.
Yeah.
How does that feel? Because does it feel like, gosh, it's been a long time, or this has been carefully curated in time and you're taking steps towards this?
It doesn't feel like a long time, but when I think of like how different I was at the beginning, I'm like, oh wow, so much has changed, and I've grown so much as an artist. I think like visually, musically, everything is just like really evolved. So yeah, it doesn't feel like really any time has passed, but also it feels like so much time.
How much did living in New Orleans influence this album? Because you bounced around a little bit.
Yeah, so much. I've actually been just unpacking that like for the first time in the past like couple weeks for some reason. Like I just didn't really think about New Orleans after I left for a long time. But now I'm like, oh wait, that was such a crazy experience. I was living in the French Quarter.
So
with my
remind me
siblings.
again, you were living in Maine and then quarantine got lifted and so
Yes.
forth. You spent time in New York for
Yes.
a second.
And then I moved to New Orleans right after living in New York.
Okay.
And I was a mess in New York. We don't have to talk about it.
Yeah.
But then New Orleans was like, I moved with my siblings and we lived in the French Quarter. Our uncle lives there. That's how we grew up visiting him there. And it was just insane. We would go to like so many different open mics and like music events, and like I would never perform. I just wanted to like watch everything. We went to like so many like parades and puppet shows, and like so like I just was like inundated with so much new information, and it was like overwhelming at the time. And there's like a real darkness to New Orleans, but it's so fun. Like it's really extreme and crazy and dark, and like I met some of the most interesting people I've ever met there. And like the roads are crazy, like there are potholes the size of like swimming pools.
Oh my God.
Like it's like an insane, there's a drive-in daiquiri place.
What?
Like I'm like,
On Bourbon Street? Like near
probably,
Bourbon Street?
No, like it's just, but they're like, no, you're not supposed to drink them on the road. But it's like, why is it a drive-in?
Right.
Like I don't understand. But yeah, no, I think I wrote a lot of my really creepy songs there. Like I was just inspired to write about hypothetical situations, about like there's this one song actually that I didn't end up putting on the album, but I really want to put out, that's called Dead Girl Walking. And I remember I wrote it in New Orleans, and I was just like, I started playing the chords and I started like seeing this scary like foggy my backyard in Maine just started to like appear, and then I realized like as I kept writing that I was like killing someone and burying them in my backyard, and I was like, this is such a New Orleans like vision to have. Like I would not have that if I was in Maine. So it was just really cool.
Sounds really cool.
Sorry, there's a lot.
Killing people and burying them in your
No,
backyard.
in a metaphorical way. Like it wasn't like a genuine death.
Did you meet any people doing voodoo and things like that? Did you pick up any skills?
No, I didn't actually get into the voodoo community. I think I don't want to like encroach on, like that just feels weird for me to be, but I did.
I didn't know there was a community. That's why.
Oh no,
I
it's
asked.
huge. Yeah, it's huge. In New Orleans, it's like a lot. I think like in the French Quarter, it's like very touristy though. Like I don't think they're like genuine places. But I did meet a lot of people that we're definitely witches, though. I'm like, wow. Or just like really into spirituality or really like knowledgeable about a bunch of different things. So
Pick up any skills? Sorcery, some witchcraft?
no, I mean, I'm a little witchy on my own, but I don't think I learned that.
You're a baby witch.
Yeah, I'm a baby
You can still
witch.
learn
Yeah.
and pick up some tips and tricks and whatnot.
It's true.
What about the spirits that live in New Orleans? Because that's always talked about as well.
Yeah,
as far as
it's extremely haunted.
Yeah.
I definitely, in our house in the French Quarter, I would wake up at 3 in the morning, and I don't know if it was because of the trash trucks or I always got this really bad feeling from the closet that was next to my room. Like it was just, I would always look at the closet and be like, ugh. And I don't do that anywhere else. I'm not like scared usually of ghosts. I just like, I live in a really old house in Maine and I never think about it.
Have you encountered ghosts before?
Yeah, but only when I was little, and
How little?
like 8.
And
7 or
what
8.
kind of ghost was this?
Oh, there was just this. I'm sounding so crazy, but there was this.
No,
week,
this is fascinating.
Yeah, there was a week where I had like sleep paralysis every night, and I was
At
sharing.
8 years old.
Yeah, and I was sharing a room with my sister at the time, and I remember for like a week. It sounds like fucking Ebenezer Scrooge or something, but there were like a different ghost between our beds. Like,
And did your sister see this?
no,
as well?
and that's the thing I remember is that I was having sleep paralysis and I would always want to call out to my sister, but I physically couldn't. And one time it was like a man with a briefcase. The last time it was like this golden ghost with like a sombrero filled with fruit, and he was just looking at me.
Wow.
I don't know.
Ebenezer Scrooge with a sombrero filled with pineapples or pears or apricots.
Yeah, it was a weird. I don't know what that means or.
So you must have had a good relationship with these ghosts and not really be too scared of these.
I was scared, but it wasn't like I felt like I would be harmed. I was just like, what is going on?
Wow.
I don't know.
Have you encountered any ghosts on tour? I feel like that would be something that you could run into anywhere, right?
Yeah. No.
Random hotels and
I'm not
venues.
tuned into that. Like ghosts. I'm not really interested in ghosts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I find spirituality really interesting, and like I just feel like what's dead is dead. Like I don't want to
Just let it be.
let it be. I don't need to know.
So the ghosts and some of the spirits and the experience in New Orleans definitely shaped a lot of the music on this record.
Really, a lot.
Was there a song that really embodies that?
I wrote River in that haunted closet on my Mellotron, which is, it's not very haunted to me. That song is like actually pretty light. When Your Heart Opens, what are the other songs on my album? I'm like, wait.
Dreamer
No, not Dreamer.
with the lightning strike?
With the Lightning Strike, I mean, a lot of them, there were pieces of it. Like, With the Lightning Strike, I wrote, that was the first song I wrote for the album, and it was in my parents' garage in Maine. And I remember writing it and then being like, that's the title. I like that. Because it's like, I love the tower card in tarot, and like the visual of like lightning striking a tower is really like important to me. I don't know why. And so when I wrote With the Lightning Strike, I was like, that's it. But
It definitely paints a picture.
yay, I'm glad. Yeah.
And the album cover really
Thank you,
reflects
yes.
that as well.
I love our album cover. I'm so happy.
Was that shot during a storm?
No. That was shot over the summer. And then it was shot by my friend Robin, and Abby was the creative director. And we overlaid a photo of lightning that Robin took like earlier. And it just, that was so fun. I love the photos that we took near that. It's called Pemaquid Light in Maine. It's like, it's kind of funny because the times we've gone there, there's so many tourists around us, and we have to like pretend that they're not there, and I'm like wearing a gown, and I'm like, but yeah, it's.
What does that mean to you
Which part?
with the lightning strike?
I think it's like an epiphany. But also like with the tower card, it's like something that shakes the foundation of reality for you, or like the framework of your life is shifting in some way, and you don't, And in the moment, there's like this blurriness or this hectic feeling. Like a lot of the songs at the beginning of the album have that crazy, like hectic energy because it's like that moment of lightning striking, and then it's like the aftermath of that into like a more peaceful and like subdued vibe at the end. So yeah.
I'm fascinated by the process now because if just by talking about how the beginning of the album is kind of like this chaotic, I feel like that's part of the relationship where it's new, it's crazy, fun, things happen, it crescendos, and then has its, you're on the other side of that, you know, down a hill or whatever you want to call it.
Totally, yeah.
And Mean Guy definitely talking about that type of vibe.
Yeah.
Is that how you put that together?
The relationship parts are kind of fragmented to me. Like they're about a lot of different people, to be honest.
Oh.
Or not a lot. I barely talk to people, but it's not about like one specific person. Like this album, there are songs dedicated to past relationships or people that like I never had anything with and I wanted to. And it's more of the feeling of like wanting connection in general or feeling alone, even, or like kind of having to acknowledge loneliness through a person, you know, where it's like, oh, this feeling's resting in me, but you're activating it a lot and realizing that that's like always there. So yeah, it's that, I forget that the songs are so romantic sometimes because like to me it's more visual or like, I don't know, I think this, like the story's more interesting to me than the relationship. But yeah, there are a lot of relationship songs.
How far do these relationships go back?
Like right out of high school.
Oh, wow.
Because that was my first like real relationship was right out of high school.
So you're really, really feeling things.
Yes. Yeah.
Was it weird going back to, 17, 18-year-old Genevieve and reading what you wrote and the emotions that you were writing down? I feel like
Oh yeah, no, I'm like, how is that possible? Like I don't understand how that was real. I'm already having that about songs that I wrote recently where I'm like, I'm already moving on from that situation.
Yeah.
Like Mean Guy, it's like I literally don't feel that way about that person anymore. Like I really just, but in the moment it was so real and I meant every word that I wrote, but it's like now I'm like, it's just another
just
random person.
Just
like I don't,
random.
yeah, like, but in the moment it's like they felt so significant, and I'm glad I wrote it because I think it helped me cope with that. But yeah, it's just like everything passes so quickly, and it's kind of a bummer. I wish it didn't pass because I like when things feel significant.
Is that something that you've now realized as you've gotten older?
Yeah.
Because 23, right?
Yeah.
Totally different way of thinking and
It's true.
feeling from 17.
Yeah, no, I was a mess, and I'm probably I'm actually very mentally stable right now. It's crazy.
I'm glad.
Yeah, no, I'm like, my resting state, like I feel pretty good, and I feel capable of a lot more than I did at that age. I trust myself so much more, and I just find like I feel like I have like a home in myself now that I didn't, where I feel like I looked outside of myself for everything at that age and for validation or like, and now I'm like, oh, like everything changes around you, but you just stay here always. So it's like you have to find home in yourself, and it's helped me. It's hard to actually like integrate into my life sometimes, but I've just, becoming a friend to yourself is important.
How did you turn the corner? It's sometimes difficult for a lot of people to realize this. It takes them a long time, or if not at all.
I think having really bad, like I've had really dark points in my life, where I like didn't trust myself at all. I kind of abandoned myself, and I think through that, and almost like this this anger about that towards, like I'm like, no, what? That's so, like I don't want that to happen again. I don't want to lose myself again when it doesn't do any good. And then also finding, I don't know, I think it just happened through experiences as well, like performing more and just testing my abilities where I started to trust myself, and I was like, oh, I'm really cool. I like what I have to say. I like the people I surround myself with. I just started to like really love my own world and what I was capable of making. And so it's just become easier with time.
We're wrapping up tour.
Yes.
And you're going to head back to Maine. What's the holidays like?
Oh God, I have no idea.
Oh.
I have no idea what we're doing. I know that I'll be home. I'll be with my family.
What are the
Maine.
holidays usually like in your household?
We just hang out. We get
Really?
a tree. We usually decorate it like the day before Christmas. We just have like a bear tree in our house for like a month, and then we decorate it right before. And then
So you're in Maine, so you could just grab a tree from your
literally,
backyard.
we have so many. And we hang out, and we watch really bad Christmas movies, me and my siblings. We love to find like the worst, like low budget Christmas movies.
Oh yeah.
And just make fun of them together, which is kind of mean, but it's really fun. It's so fun. There are so many low budget, like
There's
horrible
so
Christmas
many
movies.
just horrible low budget movies in general.
Yes,
though.
but like specifically for Christmas, it's like such a weird like world. Like it's become like it's all referencing itself, and it's like just becomes really detached from anything real. And so it's fun to watch like with your, I don't know,
Do you have any favorites, recommendations?
Santa Girl.
Santa Girl.
Santa Girl.
Never heard of it.
Yes, it's amazing.
What is it about?
I mean, it's about Santa's daughter who decides she wants to go to a liberal arts school, and she leaves the
North Pole?
the North Pole, yes, which is literally just a McMansion, which is amazing. And then she ends up going to this like, I don't know, like Mormon college, which is crazy. And all of the people that are in it are like really, they're not actors, they're from the college, and I think it's like a college production thing.
Okay.
But Harper from Wizards of Waverly Place is in it, which is so crazy. Yeah.
Okay. Now you hooked me. That sounds fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait for the live stream as you're watching this.
Oh, yes.
You got a live stream now for people
Yes.
to watch what you're watching.
I would love to watch it with people. It's really funny.
Well, good to see you.
Nice to see you.
It's been a year,
I know.
almost, and a good time for us to catch up.
I know.
Congrats on the album,
Thank you.
and happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Yeah. Genevieve Stokes, right here on B-Sides.
Thank you.